Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. Today's video, the theme is basically something I touch on often, many times. Basically, every time we have earnings season, I, in some shape or form, talk about the idea of watching for clustering of reports, right? And meaning, um, like when you get multiple names within a similar group or multiple similar names within a sector, all kind of reporting within a stretch of one another, then to me that oftentimes creates opportunities, right? So I really like to see where like the concentration is, and that's why I put those videos together, is to kind of get a game plan in advance of how I want to approach things, right? So uh, a lot of times, even if say like, so I'm going to talk about like next week more specifically, but this week, I mean, you have a couple China tech names on the calendar, right? So Baidu, Tencent Music, Neo, etc., right? And what happens is, and what is maybe more of a phenomenon of like recent market, is that you get a lot of similar names, and or maybe like one sector, a lot of things tend to move together. So it wasn't always that case. Sometimes it's more stock specific, but right now it seems like when sectors are in play, they all kind of move up together and move down together, right? So I'm sure you've noticed it. Like when software stocks are in play, they all kind of move up together and move down together. When energy stocks are in play, they all kind of move up together, move down together. When banks are in play, they all move up together, move down together, right? So when you get these clustering of earnings, it really creates a lot of opportunities, not only in the names that are specifically reporting, but also in the names that aren't reporting, right? Because again, I mean, the whole idea that things tend to move together more frequently now than they have at some points in the past. So what I like to do is kind of get an idea of like what are like the greater concentrations, like where are those earnings clusters, right? So
WTI
this
oil
week is
ends near
definitely
$42 on
this week is
virus
definitely
optimism.
one where it's a little bit more spread out. You have some China tech names, you have some new IPOs, you have a couple tech, like just regular tech reports, but for the most part, it's a little bit more spread out. Next week, though, and as this week wears on, I'm probably going to start game planning more for retail, all right? Because next week is a high concentration of retail. So what you'll notice is, or at least what I find, is that trades start to set up, all right? So you have multiple retailers reporting next week. So Walmart reporting next week, right? And you can see like a nice little bull flag, right? Target starting to wake up and starting to move, right? Kohl's reports next week, and this is another name, right? Starting to move, right? A lot of these retailers are starting to move. Nordstrom, another one, right? Macy's, kind of moving similar with Kohl's. So what I like to do is kind of get an idea. So like I game plan like a week in advance, but I also kind of take a peek what the following week on top of that is, because as this week wears on, I'm probably going to want to start looking ahead and look if I want to do some of those ramp into the report style trades. So what I like to do is just get an idea and then really start to shift my focus to that sector, right? Because I know that there's going to be a ton of news. So like there's going to be a lot of headlines, like earnings headlines. There's also going to be a lot of volume, and there's going to be a lot of interest in those names. So whether bullish or bearish, I feel like it's just, for me, like my focus is really going to start to shift into more retail oriented strategies and setups, because that's what the calendar is dictating, right? You got that cluster, really tight concentration of retail, and it just seems like there's a lot of things that are moving together, setting up together, triggering together, right? So uh, retail, it was just one that was on my mind, so that's why I wanted to talk about the video. But in general, I feel like it's really beneficial to do this because you kind of get an idea of you get an idea of not only what's on the calendar, what's reporting, but also like you can generate ideas outside of those names that are on the calendar. So like names that maybe move in sympathy, so you get those correlation trades, right? Those sympathy trades where some options are priced below what they would be because there's no catalyst, but they'll move with the sector, etc. Right? So there's all sorts of different opportunities, but that's why I spend so much time like doing the research, figuring it out, talking about earnings calendars, right? Because I feel like it sets up a lot of different trades, and it doesn't take that much extra work, but I feel like it pays dividends. All right, so keep an eye out for retail. Like I said, think things are going to start moving, especially as we get into the end of this week. Yeah. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on options trade, option swing trades, or earnings trades, please follow up the link in the description of the video for more information on options in play. Hope you guys have a great night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.